Good afternoon. I'm Chuck Flaherty, Vice President of Sales for the Software Solutions arm at Crescendo, also known as NetSapiens. And I'm thrilled to be kicking off our Partner in the Spotlight series, where every month we're going to take an opportunity to highlight some of our service provider partners and MSPs that have been very successful and really get a chance to not only recognize their success, well, what role has the NetSapiens platform played in that success? So I'm excited to get this kicked off, and particularly excited to kick this off with a highlight of RingSquared, one of our large partners out of New Jersey. This is a company that started over 33 years ago, back in 1993. Has grown tremendously, both organically as well as through acquisition. They're in major cities across the country. The portfolio is very robust, from UCaaS and CCaaS on through to SIP, to VoIP, to SD-WAN, you name it, they happen to have it. I'm joined by Joe Mullen, their Chief Operating Officer. Joe, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Chuck. Good to see you.
Thank you. You know, I gave a little bit of a highlight. I probably didn't do it justice, but in 33 years, you guys have crushed it. So you mind maybe sharing with our audience a little bit of what's made you guys so successful?
Sure. Thanks. It's been years of experience putting the right team together along the way here. And as our owners like to look at it, is we've almost become our own PE firm. That
Nice.
We look at acquisitions and optimization opportunities as we grow a long time. And it's been very successful for us. We have a team here that are very good at looking things over, optimizing it, and executing quickly. So it develops to success for us in the long run.
And Joe, I noticed, I think a lot of websites for telecom firms, and you've seen a lot of them as well, always stress, world-class service and support. And everyone says it, not everyone delivers upon it. And you guys have absolutely done exactly that. What's been the secret behind that customer-focused success?
That we focus on account management after the sale. That's the key to our success, right? It's once a person signs, it's not over. That's when it starts, and that's what we believe. And that's been really what's held our loyal customers to us for so long.
Fantastic. Joe, you guys have been a Metaswitch partner for many years. And you came to us, I guess, in a bit of an unorthodox fashion. It was through one of your acquisitions. You mind maybe sharing a little bit of that acquisition and how we came into your world?
Sure. Yep. An acquisition about 2-3 years ago that we made up in Massachusetts came with a Crescendo NetSapien cloud-based solution. When our sales team got a window and looked at it, they really were hyped up to start selling the product.
Yeah.
It's much more user-friendly for the end user. For the non-engineer type mind, it's just a product that the end user really loves and the sales team can get behind.
Joe, you mentioned to me when we chatted a little bit about this as we got to know each other a little bit better. I know you set your engineering teams to go explore and investigate. You used to the Metaswitch environment, and in comes the NetSapiens. Maybe share what your engineers discovered as they looked at both platforms.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was it took a lot less resources behind the scenes to set up customers, support customers. It relieved us of a lot of all the fine tuning behind the scenes to customize every customer a little bit differently. It took those controls off of us and into the end users' hands as well, and let them drive what they wanted. And it's a much better experience because, when you're selling UCaaS, right, you're putting a product together that you want to sell. And, like we like to say, the customer smiles and dials, right?
Right.
When you get into these custom creations or people want to make changes and they have to call you every time to make that change for them, then you're almost like a PBX vendor on top of it all. And we don't want to be in that business. We want to be in smile and dial. And that's what the NetSapien does for us.
Yeah, Joe, I know if we look at the options out there in the world today from a UCaaS and CCaaS perspective, there are a million different offers. And and it's tough sometimes differentiating between one and another. And your team wants to smile and dial and be focused on success. How does the NetSapiens platform help with that process? Are there particular things besides the ease of use and transition that has really helped the organization?
Yeah, I think a lot has to do as well with the fact that it adapts to our billing system very seamlessly as well. There's APIs between the two. So again, a customer can go into a window, they can add a feature, remove a feature, and it goes straight on into our billing platform. There's no intervention from personnel and waiting for a document to be signed or anything. Everything can be done by the end user.
Beautiful. And I know that, in this world, CX is everything, right? Customer experience, and the CCaaS component is vital. And I know you had a chance to review our contact center platform and your thoughts as you had a chance to look at that.
It's very in depth. It has a lot to offer, a lot of options.
Sure.
In fact, we're implementing it for our direct corporate use now. The team's very excited to get behind it because it really does everything that you want a system to do, right? It touches all the different pieces that you need it to touch, and delivers the reports that you need to do to be efficient.
You bet. Joe, I think when I came up to visit you back in January, you guys were still in snow and cold weather up in North Jersey. But one of the things that also struck me, you made mention by name the work with Terry Kruger and our support team, which is always important. It's great to have a wonderful product and a great solution, but it's another thing to have top-notch people behind it. Could you maybe share your experience as you worked with some of the NetSapiens team? Yeah.
So obviously with the acquisitions we've done over the years, we have a lot of switch migrations that take place. And that's why I have no hair these days.
I'm right behind you, by the way.
But, my hopes are with NetSapiens that it will grow back soon because we just did a big migration from the cloud service to our own servers. And the team was unbelievable. All my engineers, everyone on staff just couldn't rave enough about how smooth it was. And they've never worked with another switch manufacturer before, ever, that has been so helpful and made the transition so smooth. So, and these are guys that have been doing it for 30, 35, 40 years. So they've been around.
That's fantastic to hear, and glad to hear the experience has been great. I know as well when we chatted, the future roadmap for the product was important to you. Where we're going, what we're doing, how it's being developed versus the platforms of past that you've used, including Metaswitch. Maybe share your thoughts how important is a roadmap on a platform like this to you and to the RingSquared business?
It's critical. It's everything to us, right? Is that especially in the SMB market, you have to know who your partner is. You have to be able to trust that partner. You have to make sure that they're going to be around for a while, and you got to make sure the team that is you're purchasing it through are partners and not salespeople. I like to use that term a lot, right? If it works for all of us, then it's great. If one of us is in it for the selfish reasons, then it falls apart real quick.
Right.
And so far, you and your team have been true partners, right? That I don't see you just trying to figure out how to upsell us, anything like that. It's what's going to work best for both teams. And I appreciate that.
I'm glad to hear that, Joe. I kind of highlighted up front 33 years organic and growth through acquisition. That doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. In fact, our last meeting, you've got more coming. Share what you can share on that front, and how does the NetSapien platform factor into maybe some of this decision making?
Sure. Actually, we just closed on a deal last week. It's still pending regulatory approval, so
Right.
it's about as much as I can share with it right now. But NetSapien played a big role in it because they're a user already. They also have other switching platforms they have, and when I do my projections for what we're going to do, I look at it of where am I going to put that traffic? What's my cost going to be in the long run? And it all falls right into NetSapiens for us. So it's a big advantage to me to be able to know that I can cut things over, and not only cut it over, but what we talked about earlier, that I have the team on the other side that's going to help me make those cuts and make it happen in the time frame that I need it to happen. So I greatly appreciate that.
Listen, Joe, that's fantastic. I appreciate the kind sentiments. There are a lot of folks out there sitting on legacy platforms, both Metaswitch, BroadSoft, and others. What recommendation would you give them that are looking, potentially to make a change, or maybe just stick with the old platforms?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Without knowing all the details behind it, but I can just speak for myself, right? Is that I look at the service fees that you pay each year and what I get for those fees, right? If I'm paying for support, am I being supported, or am I just paying a fee called support, right? And those are what we take a deep look at. It's just not an annual fee that I have to strike a check for. It's
Right.
What am I getting for it? And that's where we came to the conclusion that the money is spent more wisely with your team.
Fantastic. Joe, I appreciate the comments. By the way, thank you so much for the time today. You are our very first partner in the spotlight, and thrilled at the success of RingSquared. We look forward to being a big part of it moving forward. And thanks again for the time today.
Thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
You got it, Joe. Thanks again.